Hello, everyone, and welcome. I just wanted to come forth and share some exciting news that is been something that I've been rebirthing really for a long time, and I haven't known what I'm doing next. But if you've been following me, you may or may not have heard that I'm moving to Sedona in 2.5 weeks, actually. And this really came out of left field. So I've had a lot of questions. Well, like I thought you were going to LA, and where did Sedona come from, and what's going on there? And so I just wanted to share a little bit about my journey with you because I know everyone is on this journey of transformation. And so especially in this twin flame journey, we have really gave birth to ourselves over and over and over again. And I feel like this last rebirth of the last 2 to 3 years has been literally coming out of the chrysalis, and my actual moving from the space that I've been in. This space feels like it's been my cocoon for the last 8 or 9 years since I've been on this twin flame journey, going through a process of awakening to more myself, and obviously more the journey, and evolving and expanding into more my femininity, really. And in the last couple of years has been this sense of, I keep calling it the wilderness. So I'm just going to say, the wilderness. So if you've been in the wilderness, and that meaning it's kind of dark, you know you've transformed, you know that you're heading somewhere, but you just don't know where that somewhere is because it hasn't revealed itself yet. And so you're trying to navigate the journey and still just continue knowing there is something, but you're feeling a little stuck and things aren't moving. And you also know that there's something really big coming because you can feel something around the corner, but it hasn't, again, revealed itself. So, in that, what I've been seeing in that is the split sort of between our prior version of us and the future version of us, and recreating the new identity of, the next highest version of ourselves. And again, if you're going through that to the point where you feel a bit lost and navigating and not sure what's next, let me know, because I know I'm not alone in this, because I am seeing so many people, I'm just running into them personally, that are going through so much transformation. Their realities are changing through big moves, divorces, and this has been going on for a long time. And then with the COVID, it ramped up, and now what's happening is there's been enough collective shift that is putting us out the other side into the light. And that is what my move is really about. And the whole process is just a rebirthing that identity that represents that new version of ourselves that is whole, healed, and that we know where we're headed. But that last layer of getting through that process is a really deep, dark place. And I don't even mean dark as in as much of the dark night of the soul, even though it is in a different way. And it can feel that way because I know that even going through it myself, it's probably the darkest that I've experienced. But at the same time, I have had enough in my, wheelhouse of understanding of the tools and the resources to know really how to navigate it. And that's helped me, navigate it. So, and I see several of you are here. So, make sure to let me know if you have any questions or if you're going through anything. And I do want to wish everybody in the States a happy Labor Day weekend. And if you're just joining, I'm making the official announcement that I'm moving to Sedona in 2.5 weeks on the 22nd. And then I have the retreat coming up 1 week after I get there, which is how ironic, the retreat I've been planning for 2 years, and it got put off last year. And now the timing couldn't be more perfect. And even 2 weeks ago I just found out and understood and uncovered why and where I'm going 2 weeks ago, and I'm already moving. And that's the thing about alignment. When you get into alignment with who you are, your destiny, and the right direction, what you need to support you will show up from a place of being ease and grace. You're not trying to struggle figuring it out. Now, coming through this wilderness I'm talking about really came into a place of feeling, hi, Monica. Thank you so much. Thank you. And happy Labor Day to you. There was really a feeling in that of like deep trust and trusting yourself, really trusting the journey, trusting your intuition, and going through what is a pause. And you may have heard me do the video I did on being in the Jubilee. I don't know, it was when I was in Kansas City. If you were following me, I did this video on being in Jubilee. And what Jubilee really meant was that if you don't know where you're going, you're at a place of pausing until things come to fruition. Now, what that really means is, if you think of it in farmer terms, that the farmers would plant crops, and if they didn't give the crops a break and let the crops rest, then it depleted the soil, and you would not have a fruitful harvest because the nutrients had been depleted from the soil. And this is what has been happening collectively. We've went through, this rebirth, and everyone's been sort of depleted and coming into this place of, it's time to rest. It's time to surrender. It's time to just be. It's time to really go on pause and not make decisions and be still. And because this is a bandwidth of energy, everybody can be in different places of this. Some people can be going through their dark night of the soul still and have a lot of heavy karma to clear. Some people could be in Jubilee in the rest phase. Some people could be in abundance. And some people are transitioning through each phase, which is its own level of transition, going through each phase. Thank you, Heidi. Thank you. I'm just read your mind with the video. Okay, cool. And I read your mind. Okay. Cause you were thinking of the video. You were thinking of that video when I was talking about it. Right. And if anybody's not on here, I don't exactly remember the name of it, but it's probably been about 2 to 3 months ago. But I talk about going through the Jubilee, and it was really good. I just kind of sit down on a patio when I was in Kansas City and just shared from my heart what Jubilee meant and how we were going through these things to learn how to trust the journey and the process and to be still. And I gave some tools and tips on how to do that. And today I'm not really here to tell you the tools and tips and the how-tos. I'm really here as an authentic place of my own self to share my own journey, to tell you what's been going on with me, and a little bit about how Sedona came on the radar out of left field versus LA that I've been called to, for my whole life. When I was a kid, even now that I'm moving, I found this box from when I was a child where I pulled out of the box a t-shirt that is LA, and I saved it for whatever reason from a little bitty child's shirt when I was like 10 to 12 years old. And so that was before I knew I was going to Sedona, I think, or maybe it was around the time. But anyway, so if you've been following me, I've been saying that I'm being guided to go back into community. I'm being guided to get in person with people. I'm being guided to help heal from a level that is healing, like the grid work and the land and the connection and the collaboration, and really implement some of the tools and tips and resources and the experiences that I have went through that have been the deepest and the darkest over the last 2 and 3 years, that really represented clearing out the physical aspects of our body, which is my chiropractic background, which does require a little bit more in person than just online. And not even just from that standpoint, to be more connected and more coming together, and the power of two is greater than one, and to actualize that and to be in the physical is the point, because the physical aspects of what we're healing in the physical body and the physical connection is bringing about the shift in our physical reality. And so I knew I was going to travel around doing that, and I thought I was working my way to LA, which I still am. But I want to tell you something that came up through this process, that LA basically is still LA, but I thought it was Marina Del Rey. And just a week ago, I found out that there's an Avalon. So if you don't know, I changed my last name legally to Avalon. which represents heaven on earth. And there is a Catalina Island off the coast of LA that has an Avalon there in Catalina Island. And so I know that that's where I'm going to be heading. I know that that's where I'm going to be going. And but I'm working my way there. And so all of guidance is showing me to come together to bring community into unity. So bringing community into unity. And so I am already got things working towards doing Vortex Rebirth Tours inside of the vortexes and working with people one-on-one in the vortexes in Sedona to help them renew and rebirth and cleanse and clear these physical connections of what's holding them back and what's keeping them stuck from the next version of themselves. And it's some really deep stuff, and that's how I guess I know that is to be done. Plus, I just feel the soul call. I just didn't know it linked to Sedona. I didn't know it linked. I know I had a retreat that was already scheduled, as I said, for 2 years ago. So there was a lot of soul searching, and there was a lot of things, synchronicities, and a lot of things aligning, and a lot of things starting to make sense that suddenly presented itself through a soul mapping session that I did with my beloved and myself as to what our missions were, what our next steps were, and that unfolded and showing us both that what was on paper wanted to birth out of Sedona. And that day, that night, I looked up in Sedona and found when I found a condo to rent online, it was for lease. I'm like, that's it. That's the place. And I applied for it immediately the next day. Well, actually, the next day was Sunday, so I do it on Monday. And literally, that has been, I guess I would say, I've only known for 2 weeks that it all went through and got approved. But I applied 3 weeks ago today, and I'm leaving in 2.5 weeks. So everything's showing itself to support when you get in alignment with what your highest calling is, because you might be in your calling, and you might know that the direction of something is one thing, but there might be a stepping stone or a reroute in between. And this program that I've been putting together named itself, it's a cocoon, and going through the rebirth of yourself and helping people learn to unleash that innate internal power that is inside of them, and to connect to that as they go through transitioning and turning the wounds into wholeness, and being, knowing who you are and knowing where you're headed, and knowing that version of yourself that you can truly embody and bring into form and actualize as you reconnect and rediscover your true self, which is what this journey is really all about. And so if you're just joining me, I'm talking about that I'm making a move to Sedona in 2.5 weeks that came out of nowhere. I'm still heading to LA en route, but this is a reroute to come together and create community. And I'm showing that there's to be sacred land there, and there is to be like an ashram and a place of healing for people to come and heal. And in the process of that, I'm going to be taking people into the vortexes, as I mentioned, if you're just joining me, and doing rebirth sessions inside of the vortexes as we activate your inner grid, connect it to the earth grid, and fully release your past and help you embody the energy that you came here to, actualize as that new version of you. Now, what I was talking about when I first come on here is, how do you get from here to here in that, and you're going through the wilderness in it. And one of the biggest keys is letting go of your past and trusting the process. And I was talking about, that pause, being in the Jubilee. But I have discovered in my own journey, like, really how to take the leap, and me actually making the move to what I'm doing to get there, to do this, is taking the leap. This is a leap of faith for me. And it is something that is actually helping me actualize the things I teach about by me taking the action to do it, and trusting that I'm following my heart and my intuition, and to know that, like, I'm going there to do what I'm telling you. And I don't even know how all of the pieces are going to come, or how it's all going to come together. but I just know that I know that I know I'm supposed to be there. I'm supposed to be doing this. And I didn't know these things before. When I got into the knowing of it, then again, everything, all the doors opened. Before that, the doors were closing, the doors were shutting, and I wasn't able to take the action because I was still pulling my own pieces together of the aspects of myself of bringing wholeness to me. Hello there. Welcome. So we have several people here. Just want to say hello. I just want to read this message. See, the field or the ground has the rest, and we are the ground. Thanks to the scientist George Washington Carver, who was a former slave who invented the crop rotation. But he took a lead in the year of Jubilee for the extensive knowledge he gained from reading an ancient book, some call the Old Testament, which was one of the once just separate ancient books put together. You're right. We are to rest from the ground, rest the ground, and then rest from labor. And here we are on Labor Day. And like the funny thing is, I didn't put all that together with being Labor Day and taking a rest, but good observation, Jeremiah, of bringing together the idea of taking the rest, which is helping us divine feminine shift into our femininity. And if you're really paying attention, the divine masculine is out there doing it. They're waking up and they're getting the job done. So I'm going to be back periodically. Raze and I have our Sunday show on this next Sunday. And then she's going to be out of town for her anniversary. And then I've been doing the Shamanic Sunday with hello, Evelyn. Hello. Let me know where you guys are from and if you have any questions or if you've been following me and know that I'm moving to Sedona. I just wanted to come here to make an informal announcement and share my journey a little bit about how I redirected on my way still to LA, but it's going to be a different place in LA, which is Catalina Island and the Isle of Avalon there, and I legally had changed my name to Avalon. And if you followed me, Champ's middle name's Avalon for 14 years, and I didn't know what Avalon meant, but it really means heaven and earth. So a piece of what I'm doing in Sedona is activating the vortexes and bringing and opening an energy portal in Sedona that represents the actualization of heaven on earth. And I've just been really guided to go there to do that, and in the process, help people rebirth their next versions of themselves. So I'll be doing the Vortex Rebirth Tours out into the vortexes and doing the healing work one-on-one, VIP or groups or however that goes. And I'm in the process of, getting permits for that. But I actually have a retreat, the Healing Haven Retreat. I'll be in Sedona, and 1 week later, I'll actually be doing my first retreat, moving there, and then a week later doing a retreat. So you can check out the link for that retreat and learn more about it in the links above and below, because it's going to also be part of I feel like the initial activation of the land and definitely helping people rediscover who they are and activate and awaken these healing powers. So the whole retreat is basically revolved around this information that I'm talking about and the things that I've went through. And if you've been really stuck and you've not been able to navigate your wilderness in a way that you know what's next, and you're having trouble discerning which actions to take and what direction to go, this will be your breakthrough. I've been praying over this for a while. It's been a 2-year process of creation for this retreat, and it could not birth itself until all of the things aligned. And so I had put the retreat on hold because it didn't feel right last year. It wasn't time. I just knew it wasn't time. And then earlier this year, I knew, like, early summer or spring, I'm like, early summer, I'm like, no, this is really going one way or another. Like, I'm having this retreat, and I didn't know until 2 weeks ago I'm actually moving there. So it's just so beautiful how it all awakens. So let's see here. We got hello, Evelyn from New York, separated for 5 years. You follow me? Great, Evelyn. Welcome. So nice to meet you officially here. Let's see. We have Solivia. what I think about the quickest way to achieve inner union. So first I'm going to tell you, Olivia, I have an entire playlist on achieve inner union that I've been working on. So this year, I actually, if you followed me back in January, I went into this year saying my goal this year was to achieve inner union, and I'm going to teach everyone the things I've done to do that. And so most of my content this year has been about achieving inner union, and it's all been placed in a playlist and here on YouTube. So one thing I would tell you in that, the quickest way to figure that out would be to go there and binge watch the playlist, because it's going to share all of that with you. But to answer that here, it's surrender. Okay. It's coming into this place of surrendering outcomes, surrendering to yourself, like bringing balance to your masculine and feminine energies, and learning how to navigate the journey in such a way that you find balance in all things, inside out, masculine, feminine energy, head, heart. It doesn't matter what you're doing or what direction you're going, really coming into a place of balance, that you are expanding your polarity and your contrast and bringing neutrality to that, so that there isn't a right or a wrong. It means that everything exists. And when you surrender to the idea that there is something one way or another, or, like, for instance, like the contrast of something, it's non-duality. And so what that really means is to come into non-duality when you do, and you harmonize yourself in a way that you don't polarize your energy. And I don't know how much you know about these terms I'm using. And if it's like you're not understanding, you're going to learn a lot in the videos that I've shared, because I broke it down for you there. And I've talked a lot about harmonizing these energies in a lot of these videos for the Achieving Inner Union. But for here, you're really moving into a place of non-duality. And when you shift beyond the contrast and the duality, you're shifting into divine love. You're shifting into divine energy, because in the divine energy, there is no contrast and there is no duality. We only make it that way in a human experience, between our ideas of truth and our perspective of what we see, in a bandwidth of everything that exists. And so it's a matter where you put your perspective and what viewpoint you're looking at in that perspective. So that's a great question, though. Thank you so much, Olivia, for asking that question and sharing that, because that's a really, when you say the quickest way, I want to address the quickest way. All right. So give me 1 second, because I know I said it's surrender, but here's what I have to tell you, what's coming through to me to tell you. So to be able to ascend to this is self-mastery that we're talking about. Okay. Inner union is self-mastery. It is the ascension process of awakening and activating our higher self and tapping into that version of ourselves. And that self-mastery that we undergo to do that is what they relate to as, the eye of the needle. In the Bible, it says it's easier to get a camel through the eye of a needle than it is to make it into the kingdom of heaven, which is the ascension process to the version of your higher self and the self-mastery. So that being said, it is a process that there isn't technically an easy way, because if it were easy, everyone would do it. And it's not an easy thing to do. That's why it's called mastery. And that's why you're put to the test to really mold yourself. And that's where, achieving inner union is in your cocoon of the chrysalis, and the transformation and the alchemy, and the literally rebirthing a new version of yourself and a new identity. And then when you come out, learning how to fly and to know that your wings will work. And that's what my retreat is all about. It's coming up in Sedona, October 3rd through 7th. And if you're just joining me, check it out. The links above and below. I have an early bird special until September 9th. That's coming up. After that, it's going to be going up in its price. And if anybody's just joining me, I didn't know this until 2.5, 3 weeks ago. I guess 2.5 because I still had to get approved for everything moving there and all that and get all that in order. But literally just over 2 weeks, I've known I'm moving to Sedona, and this retreat's been being planned for 2 years. And I didn't know all this was going to link together. And if, again, if you're just joining me, I'm literally going there to help bring heaven to earth and help activate the land and to help people heal in a deep way that they can take this leap and this transformation to get out of the wilderness and recreate who they are, and to let go of all the limitations that are in their realm, any dimension, mind, body, soul, heart, or spirit that's blocking you from connecting to all the intuition and the information. Because really this is about waking up our inner genius, and it's information inside of us that we are awakening and activating and bringing to life within ourselves, which is how we embody our God self, which is how we step into our divinity and bring heaven to earth. So let's just see if there was any more questions or comments. You spend a lot of time in nature. Yeah, it's very good. Very good. Hello, Evelyn. Let's see. Evelyn's doing that's great. Oh, I just wanted to go there. Yeah, you should check it out, Evelyn. The link is in the description. It's going to be a phenomenal, phenomenal experience. It's going to be life-changing, as I can just tell you. I've been calling in the people to help, not just for the retreat that's coming up in October, but the people that are to need this rebirth that I'm moving there to literally help with. So that's what I'm trying to stress, the calling that it is, because I'm changing my life to go do it and uprooting myself, which I knew I was going somewhere, but I'm taking a reroute to do what I'm being called to do. And that takes a lot of faith. That takes a lot of trust. That takes a lot of belief. And as we go out of the this wilderness I keep talking about and discover who we are, and then we're moving into the promised land, so to speak, where you are receiving your rewards and you've done the work, and now you're stepping into abundance and you're stepping into a life that is in your reality, that's actualized. Let's see what you have. Is it a group retreat? This particular one is a group retreat. I will be doing private VIP sessions, one-on-one in the vortexes as well, and offering what I'm calling right now. I don't know what it actually be called, but I'm calling it the Vortex Rebirth Tour, where it can be done as a one-on-one person with a one-on-one person and one-on-one, or it can be done with groups. But the retreat in October is a group retreat. And if you look on the page there, Evelyn, there's it's 5 days. And if you look at those days, you will see in there the itinerary of what we're going to be doing all 5 days. And really, it's going to be an entire rebirth through the process. And we're going to go into the vortexes, 3 of the major vortexes in Sedona, and do activations and clearings and healings and awakenings, and literally waking up, like letting go of the parts of you that have been holding you back, and then activating and calling in these parts of you that are ready to be embodied and upgraded, and then recreating your life. So when you walk out of this 5 days, you won't be the same person. And obviously what you put into that is what you're going to gain out of that. But that's what I want to tell you, that I'm calling in those that want to do the work, those that want to do that transformation in themselves, because I know that's what I'm here to help people do. And so I'm not here just to get people to come. I'm calling in the ones that are supposed to be there, the ones that are wanting this information, that are wanting to do this type of work to become that version of themselves and let it go. And if that's how you come in a place of being open to that, you're going to gain out of it more than you could have ever imagined, because you're open, willing, and ready to free yourself of everything that's holding you back. And it's going to be, I'll be sharing like all the new up-to-date things that I've been learning for the past 3 years, that over the last 10 months I've been working deeply on, and with the shaman, which is why he's going to be joining me there, because we have done some work together that is going to magnify and amplify the work I've even done that we did together, that our energies together will really even upgrade the work I've been doing, because it took him to help me do what I knew needed done. I knew what I needed and I could do it for someone, but I also needed to experience it. And I also needed somebody to help me because I needed the work myself. And so we showed up each week for 10 months, weekly, working on what we're going to be doing with people in this retreat. And it's going to be life-changing. So if you're just joining me, I'm actually moving to Sedona in 2.5 weeks based on the work that I'm being redirected to do. And, if you're on the verge of a major breakthrough and you would like to break free from repetitive patterns and the things that are holding you back, this is definitely something that would, benefit you. And, seeking genuine connection to others and a world, like the world. And that's part of what we're going to do, is connect and collaborate with ourselves, with the guides, with the earth, Mother Earth, get into the vortexes, ground this energy in. Where we come together, the power of two is greater than one. We're going to ground it in. We're going to anchor it in. We're going to bring it in. And we're going to harness that energy together. And then we're going to put it into Mother Earth to heal those grids. But we will be healed in the process of them. And so, if you desire more clarity, more direction, more understanding of what your purpose is and why you're here and what is next and the next version of you, that's going to be revealed as we go through this process of letting go of what's blocking you and up leveling to that version and calling in that version of you. And there is honestly no words that I could give you that would tell you the power of the transformation, because you can't put it into words. All you can do is trust it. Like, that's why I said I'm calling in the people that feel called to it, because they'll be the ones that receive from it what it is I know it's going to provide. And I would love to put it into words, but there's no way to package up the experience it's going to actually create. But, if you're really ready to step into your next level of authenticity and remove that veil and mask and get super vulnerable and open up and, let go of everything holding you back, just see if it resonates, see if it's calling you, because it's going to be fabulous. The other thing I want to say with my own experience of what I've learned in this is, I had went through my own healing with PTSD and just sleep disorders and lots of anxiety that I went through with my own COVID experience that I went through in order to learn more about how the trauma that we've all went through has caused us to be constantly cycling through these repetitive micro traumas that are keeping our body stimulated. It's making us hypersensitivity. That's making us go into this sort of, isolation mode. And if you followed me very long, you also know that I've pretty much have been isolated for the last 8 years until I came out to Kansas City. And you guys, if you followed me, if you followed me, and I went into the city, into the markets, and I did you guys on some tours with me to watch you in motion, watch me in motion as I was coming out of my cocoon at that time, or starting to, and then me taking this leap of moving from this safe place that I love being at here in my area and in this space. This is me exiting the chrysalis and coming out into the next version of me. And so, that's the other thing, is joining me either for any in-person VIP things or the retreat coming up. You're going to get to witness my own ability to be that next version of myself, because me doing this is taking me to my next level. So I just wanted to share it with you. I just want to come here with open heart, just let you know I'm moving in 2.5 weeks, let you know why it's Sedona and not LA yet. And that when it is LA, it's going to be a different part of LA than I thought. And just give you a heads up of where I'm at and what's going on. And, you can check out the retreat in the links above and below. And if you have any questions on the Vortex Rebirth Tours, because I don't have that on any website anywhere yet. Okay. But if it's something you're interested in, say you can't make this retreat coming up, but you're interested in making a trip and doing either a group tour or a one-on-one VIP tour where you're going into the vortexes and rebirthing through the same process I'm talking about, then let me know. You can email me at drharmony@twinflameexpert.com, and I can, give you a heads up on some information until I'm actually fully promoting that, which won't be until after the retreat, because with my move and having the retreat 1 week later after my move, I'll have a little settle time to get those things in place. And I also know that there'll be a couple weeks that Ray's and I are not going to do our video on Sunday because I'll be moving and she's going to be celebrating her anniversary with her twin flame. They'll be married 12 years, I'm assuming. Ray's, you're on here, 12 years of marriage, which has been phenomenal for them through their journey and their process. So I send loads of love to all of you. And if it's a calling to you to meet me in Sedona for that upcoming retreat, I would love to meet you there in person and help you unlock and unleash your inner healer within yourself. And yes, Raze, it is an incredible journey, and I'm so excited to be on part of it with you and to going to that next level with you too. So I send you guys so much love, and just so you know, if it does call you, I know people are popping in and out of here. I do have the early bird still going for the retreat until September 9th. Okay, so it's only 5 more days. So after that, the price will be going up, the investment will be going up. And so now's the time to get in on it where the investment is now, because it's going to go up after the 9th. So I send you guys so much love, and I'll be back periodically like this just to speak from the heart, maybe share my journey along the way, and just look out when I get to Sedona, because no telling what kind of stuff I'll be doing there to share with you, because it's going to be some really amazing stuff. And I know that I'm going to be getting crystal bowls, and I'm going to do sound healing out in the vortexes and offering, community events and things. So I'll be even offering different events in the community there. So I don't know what it all is going to be yet, but I just know it's going to be phenomenal. But in the meantime, I'd love to see you at the retreat, and I'll see you in the next video. So may you always face your fears, find freedom, and glow forward on fire. Namaste. I send you so much love.